Top one, ladies. My name is Chad, and welcome to the What If Deku was the Frankenstein. So let me explain this. So he has a power, Zuko has a power of similar to any shapeshifters, but they, you know how Doctor Frankenstein, Doctor Frankenstein ends up creating monsters? Well, his power is similar to the Frankenstein's monster, basically, where it's indestructible and yeah, but without the weakness of fire. So there's two forms that I took, or I pieced together to create two different forms that I will use in this what if. So first is this one, where his blue arm thing is supposed to be a squid tentacle, and the red is All Might fused with Ochakos. Basically, Ochakos is a hand on All Might's arm. Basically, yeah. So, name, yeah. So, and Todoroki's is ice powers with Tenya's speed. Yeah. Well, let's begin. And I am adding Jimmy to this what if, so yeah. Zuko and Jimmy been born. And they, at age of 4, or actually during age of 3 years old, Renko, not Rancor, Renko, I can't say her name anymore. Renko, or instead of saying Inko, it's Rinko. Her name is hard to pronounce in my yeah. So she actually ends up falling in love with Zuko, and she doesn't actually care if he was quirkless or quirked. So so then then at age 4, Zumi, so the quirk doctor tells Zumi that she has quirk and tells her brother, or actually, the quirk doctor tells Zuko that he's quirkless, he can't become a hero, and all that stuff. So they ignored him, but he's living in the same house. But when he's going to school, she says hi to him and with a cuddly face thing. And she hugs him. Yeah. So, yeah. Yeah, so his friends like Ochako, Bakugo, and Todoroki, and everybody else hates him except for Rinko. Yeah, they. So she's basically the only one that loves him, who he is. So he didn't go to UA, but the, he goes to a quirkless school. But he feels a little bit like a little bit different from a average person or average person. Yeah. So like when he was 5 years old, or no, 6 years old, he was trying to grab something from the counter, like the top of a counter under. He could not reach it. And the but something in his, let's say he used his right arm. This side. Oh wait, I'm trying to zoom in. This arm. And when he reached or tried to reach for it, his arm just extended or like transformed into a bluish thing, and his hands became like squid tentacles, and like when he reached and grabbed something, like say a plate from the top of a, yeah, and so he puts it on the floor, or no, he puts it on the table, as he just realized, wait, what? The So he went to the quack doctor one more time, or he went to a doctor, and they tells him there's something going on with my arm. Really? What do you mean? Well, I don't know how to explain this, but because I'm quirkless, but I ended up, like example, I was trying to grab a plate from a very top shelf thing, and my arm transformed into like this weird tendril, like basically like tip of, like each of my fingers was a squid tentacles, and like basically grabs it. Really? Yeah. Do you want me to show you what it, as he's like focusing, as his arm turns blue again, and like basically as a quirk doctor, or as a doctor's like, that's not normal for a quirk user or for a quirkless person to have. As a did a DNA scan, and what they found was he was born with the rarest genetics that they even saw. He has a genetics of a, like basically Frankenstein. I'm talking about both of them. And so they're like, Zuko, we have good news and bad news. Bad news is that you have to live with this for the rest of your life. But good news is you're resistant to everything. And you can modify your body. Or wait. So he can't, or he's immortal, basically. That's what they were trying to say. You're basically immortal, and you can never die, and all that stuff. So he's like, wait, so you're saying, Doctor, that I was born with a blessing and a curse? Yeah. As he looks at his arm, it went back to normal. And like he's trying to figure out what's going on. Well, you have the Frankenstein DNA. Frankenstein's DNA is not very common in today's society. But you, my friend, have that much power. You basically mimic any quirks, body parts, or anything. So yeah, everyone was basically... So when he got to school next day, Ringo, I can say it, because every time I say it, it sounds like I'm saying Rancor, like in the Star Wars. But Ringo, or he didn't say her name properly. So it's Ringo.
Reiko.
Raycor. Yeah. When she notices that something's up with him. Yeah. As he's like, what's up? As Bakuro's like, or Zuko was trying to say something, and Bakuro was like, oh, look, there's this quirkless loser. And so, yeah, as Ochako agrees, as Bakuro was about to explode him, but then his arm just reacted and smacked Bakugo so hard, that sent him flying, nailing him into the wall. Oh, from 100 feet away. As they see his arm, I'm not in the mood right now. Hoon. Whoa, that's cool. How did you... I was born with a Frankenstein inside my body. So basically, I can morph my parts into anything I choose. And so when he puts his foot down, like this one, as he uses like Todoroki's ice, he throws Ochako, everybody. Except for Rancor, or I can't say it. Yeah, this girl.
Reiko.
Rancor. Yeah. Yeah. She ends up basically, she's surprised about his powers. Yeah. Because in this world, there's quirkless are more common, quirks are more uncommon, and the basically, or actually, I have that backwards. The quirkless is uncommon, quirks are more common, but actual powers is basically he modif or like for Zuko in that category is a powerhouse. So he taught himself how to like pull off some sick attacks. Like one time he actually turned himself like his lower half. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Oh, right here. He turned his lower half into Tenya's legs, and he ran all the way around the city without any hesitation. Because he has the same powers. Or so basically, if Frankenstein's monster's powers, if it was actual powers, yeah. So he basically ran all the way to school, or UA. He actually did join UA, and he's in class 1B. So, with his girlfriend. Yeah. So now, put your hands together. I just thought about it. So, yeah. So Zuko doesn't need to get himself killed because he's immortal. But if he's injured, like got a paper cut on his arm, like a sword cut straight through his arm, he could regenerate. And if he's, if he gets cut in half or like basically, or gets like to drown, he can, or he has a built-in like Ares' quirk basically. But instead of rewinding him, or actually it does both, rewinding him back to the way that he was before, but also he can rewind to where he was at 5 minutes ago. So yeah, like if he was on a ship, or if he was on the island for 5 hours and he got on a boat and like left, then he would teleport back to there. Like basically rewind all the way back to where it was. So, yeah. So he joined UA. He's in class 1B. And so, because he's in class 1B, Zumi, or his sister's in class 1A, she has 2 quirks, but she did not know that, or like, she did not know her brother is actually the is So they came up with superhero names, just like how Class 1A was. But Zuko picks, like, basically freaky. Like, basically freaky. Sounds like I'm cussing, but it's not. It's I'm trying to say, like, or he actually used his, like, power, Frankenstein, in, as his hero name. Freaky. I was gonna use creepy instead, because, yeah. Or actually, yeah. That's what the part of the script was. Creepy. So, yeah. So they're like, man, I like that name. And he's also, I forgot to mention this, but the 2004, not name, Ragno. He has a similar, he does have a similar, or so Zuko, whose powers also guides him, like, basically he can do weird stuff with his body. I mean, like, basically, yeah. So, yeah. He can, like, basically do weirdest stuff with his body. So that's why he's called creepy. So, yeah. So, yeah. And so he's much more powerful than anyone else. So, basically, a time skip him to the sports festival. I was gonna say All Might versus All for One, but let's just, yeah. So, it was the final round between Zuko versus his sister, Zumi. It's a literal final round until, like, so, yeah. So, Zuko's like, you're her. I know that you're my sister, but I won't go easy on you. As he says, call me the creepy him rather, okay? Or call me creepy. As his sister used her powers or her quirk to actually, like, try to kill her brother, because she's annoyed about, like, him having no quirk. Alright. Guess it's my turn, right? As he takes off his jacket, wraps it around. He does have a shirt underneath. So, like, he wraps it around his waist. as he says, I don't need to hold back because I notice that you are trying to kill me and all that stuff. So, yeah. So then he says, as he turns his right arm, technically, if you see it from, like, if you turn around and be in the same pose, it would be his left arm. Right? Let's see. Yeah, his left arm. If you were in the facing the same direction what he is. So where the, yeah. So he turns his arm, this side of his arm, blue and basically a squid arm. And he turns his other side into red arm with, as he says, as to his sister that you have no match against me. As Zuko's like, all right, as he clenched his fist, as he used, like, his strength is 10 times more than One for All. Basically, Prime All Might, but 10 times more. No, 100 times more. As All Might, basically, as Zumi comes in, she has her, like, fist all charged up and all that stuff. But then Zuko, who says, see ya, as he rams his fist right against hers. And yeah, and it caused a shockwave that no one even imagined. As he says, as Ingo, or so his own sister got sent backwards out of the ring, but her arm was a little bit twisted, like black and blue. So basically, Zuko's arm was exploded before, but because of his regeneration and rewind, it came right back, even like nothing even happened, as everyone was shocked, as they can't believe that even Class 1B is shocked that their classmate became them. So basically, everyone, like, their first thought was, is he a Nomu? As Zuko turns around, or I see that, and I want to explain in this to everybody. Just to clarify this up for everybody. Okay. As he grabs the as he says, "No, I'm not a Nomu. No, I do not have black skin." As when the I can, if the rest of you want, but my powers is basically not me a hero name of, or if I became a heroes like the rest of the people that wanted to become heroes. You might be wondering, how can someone be a quirkless but still have powers, abilities? That's what I have. I can change my body appearance or parts of my body into anything. Including live or dead. As he turns his face into like when he said he turned his face into like Ochako's face, and then when he said live, and then he transforms parts of his face and all that stuff. Creepy, as everybody's like, man, that's why his name is, yeah, with that much power. Or so, and all that. I can also use the powers without any limits. Like how you guys have limits to using them. So, yeah. As Zumi was mad. Like, she was way more mad than Bakugo. And she ran right back. But then Zuko dodged the attack. As she's like basically actually trying to kill him. As she's just like, yeah. So, yeah. But Zuko used his, like, basically his arm to nail her down to the floor. As he says, you heard, huh. So, yeah. Zuko actually does have a quirk, but we'll get into that a little bit later. So, yeah. His powers are more... So, yeah. Yeah. So he does take down, like, basically anyone. He battled against Hero Killer Stain and won. Because he actually... Or he actually... Like, he did knock out Hero Killer Stain before. So Tenya's brother is still alive. So yeah. So then yeah. So Suguru ends up basically turning him over to police and all that stuff. Man, creepy. You're kind of cool. So yeah. So then yeah. So then after the sports festival, Zuko did get first place, and his girlfriend is glad. And so, yeah, and proud of him. Everybody in Class 1B is proud of him. So, yeah. And, yeah. So so now a time skip again. So, All Might versus All for One. I'm doing this little time skip. So, yeah. So, All for One, or no, All Might was down, but not out. As All for One says, it's time for you to die, All Might. Or actually, he says the actual name of it, or of All Might. Like how yeah. So, he charges up his laser attack, and then he shoots it. But little did they know that Zuko's gonna appear. So, he did fall out of a plane, or he flew from the skies and landed right in front of the attack. As he gets shot at, boom. As a laser struck him instead. But he didn't even flinch. Like, when the smoke cleared, they see only Zuko Midoriya standing there. As he says, no need to fear, I am here. As everyone can't believe, as All for One's like, you must be Zuko. Or should I say creepy? Yeah. You must be creepy. So, yeah. You must be creepy. Sorry if I had that real long pause. So, yeah. Because I have music playing, though, during this part of the recording. So, yeah. So, Zuko ends up basically in, yeah. Basically, Zuko was like, it's time for me to show my ways and why I'm the only creepy person around here. As he used his powers or to like Zorb, or he made his body so creepy that even it was, he grabs All Might before, and every citizen that was in, or he did teleport everyone away except for All for One and him. So he tells him, "Ready, Zuko? Or ready, all for one?" As he transforms his entire body. Like he made everyone, like he made like basically like every part of him was like everyone was coming out of his body. Some of them were like, they looked like terrified, or not terrified, but they with like body parts coming out of his body on him. As he says, "This is my ultimate attack." Called Planet of Creepy. You know why it says, or as he uses his own body, like he used a combine of the fat gun and the mountain lady's transformation form. As when the news people saw how big, or he looked like a balloon, but with like body horror. As everyone was scared out of their minds. As now, Ezekiel says, "Now it's time for you to die." As Big Bang Blow, boom, as he exploded. No, and then, like, because, let's say All for One got grabbed and got dragged into him, and many of it, like, seeing different, like, seeing Ochako, like, it basically looked like a possessed version of Ochako was grabbed him with, so, yeah, with everybody holding him closer as Big Bang Blow, boom, as he exploded, killing All for One. And made him major, like, blood spewing everywhere. Not even a single trace of All for One or Zuko who was left. But they didn't realize that he can regenerate, or he can revive himself. So when he came back to life, and everybody can't believe it. They saw like the possessed versions of themselves, like, was part of him. And like, yeah. He looked like, what is that boss guy? The one that from Dark Souls thing. Dark Souls bosses. Okay. Bonnie is trying to find it, but it was the, like, basically dead bodies. I think, oh, here it is. It was like it looked just like this. Like, look how many. And on top of its head was Zuko Midoriya. As he says, yeah, and then he dies, and then yeah. But he came back to life. As he's like, or he was on top of a building 1,000 feet away from the crime scene. Zuko just gets up, and he's like, or he was just laying there. He's like, oh, not doing that ever again. So then he gets up, and like, as everybody thought he was dead, and as he's just laying there, as he's just like, so everybody in Class 1B was crying. And plus Zumi was crying because she lost her brother. But then, out of nowhere, a familiar knock on the door in Class 1B. As he knocks, as he opens it, creepily, as his girlfriend knows who it is. Zuko, how are you still alive? Or creepy, how did you, or Zuko, how did you survive? Remember, I'm unkillable. Basically, like I said, I'm immortal, so nothing can kill me. So yeah, Zuko was... This video should be called What If Deku Had the Power of That. So yeah. So Zuko... So Class 1B was a little bit stunned of seeing their friend come back to life. As he's like, yeah, I should not do that again. But that was a dire situation of the... Yeah, so... Yeah, All for One dies, and, of course, there's the power of him actually destroyed the copy of All for One's quirk, and twice. So he's permanently dead, not... So not in the... Yeah. So then, yeah. Zuko ends up basically... was the only one... So then he's like, huh. As he... Yeah. Some of his friends that he made in Class 1B. So, you guys are probably wondering what happened to him went to quirkless school. Well, he was going to the quirkless school, but then but because after he learned about his powers, then he went to UA instead. So, yeah. So then his friends ends up telling him that, oh my goodness, that's cool. Have them think it's cool to have someone that's more powerful than anyone that can use their, yeah. As he busts out horns, like how Pony has, he's like, huh. Yeah. So then all of the everything. So then during the lunchtime, Zumi didn't notice that her brother was or is still alive. So until one of his friends said, "Hey Zuko, are you gonna eat that and all that?" Yeah, sure. And here we go. And so Zumi turns around. She sees her brother. As instead of being angry with him, like what he was, or like she was during the sports festival, oh, she actually was surprised. As she walks right up to him and hugs him, and tells him that the yeah. And so when he did tell her that he was born with a power of, or actual power of the, yeah. And off screen, I forgot to mention, he has two separate roles, like one on screen, but one off screen. So off screen, he actually did create a Frankenstein's monster that is way more powerful than All Might, Endeavor, everyone from like Symbol of Peace all the way down to like the highest ones. Yeah. So, yeah. He basically made three of them. And all three of them serve him. So then yeah. So, now, Zuko is basically is so powerful that even like a sneeze of him could destroy the entire world. So, yeah. So, So she basically hugs Zuko. Or, so, so Zumi hugs her brother, and she did apologize to him about making fun of him. And now for his quirk. It is actually called, or it's the same thing as his sister, but way more stronger than a normal person's. So basically, like Endeavor's, but 10 times more. Yeah. So he can do fire-based attacks. He can use like long range, short range, medium range, well done range. No. So yeah. So they just learned it when he basically he did grab Church Quirk from All for One. Like, so he basically yanked it away and from the All for One that takes guts. So yeah. So then he to pull that off. Yeah. So the Zuko did it, and the so says, I have something to give. So the wild cat Yellow, I'm gonna save this so that I don't have to go back and forth to it. So wild cat Yellow. I hope I don't get. Oh, here she is. Okay, so because they basically may, or so she basically ends up was at the hospital, and but Zuko actually shows up there. I have a gift for her. Here, as he puts a search quirk back into her body, he did purge the any remains of All for One on it, like basically purged it out of it. So he gives it to her, and he did tell her that no need to lose it again. So yeah, so now a time skip. I'm skipping over an overhaul fight because there's no point of doing it. And yeah. So you might be wondering what the squid arm is supposed to be. I'll give you a hint. There's this YouTube channel called basically called, or basically a what if, or I forget who owns it. It's called What If Deku Was the Gargantuan Leviathan, and I didn't use a full body version. I used a part of him. So this is what it's supposed to be, like the Gargantuan Leviathan Zuko version. Like, his tendrils on his fingers were similar to that. He can transform his head into the... I can't even say his name properly. So, yeah. So now in the near future, Ringo Herm gets married to Zuko because, yeah. I was going to choose Momo because but, see, it basically sounds like I'm going down the Nico Robin route, basically. What it means is basically Nico Robin and route is basically, you know how her powers, she can make body parts? Well, oh, I should have done that, but I chose her instead because of him being so creepy. Plus, Momo's parents are probably would probably think that he's creepy out. Enough, so yeah. So, yeah, and then so Ochako gets married to Bakugo. Momo gets married to, or actually, Momo and Zumi get married to Todoroki because, yeah, it's like double date thing and all that stuff. So, yeah, and she basically, this girl, ends up getting married to Zuko, and yeah, and she had a bunch of kids that are basically, they look so much like, or they basically, when they were born, they could change their body structure thing at will. So one of them is a girl, and she ends up having same gray hair as, or should I say silver hair as her mother, but she looks like Ochako with silver hair. But Zuko knows she already learned how to use her powers. Very smart. As she thought he cheated on her with Ochako, but then she realized, oh, as she starts giggling as she thought one of his powers allows him to change. So basically, his powers did get transferred into their kids. He still has the original power. So, so yeah, he's way more creepy, including his kids. So yeah. But if you guys want me to remake this, but adding Momo as his love life thing, let me know in the comments below. I'll probably do it. And speaking of comments, quit. Or, here, hold on. Or, there's this one comment that's in the someone story. Or one comment in my last video before this video was that someone said, can you create a video title, what if Deku was Chaz Johnson? You are crazy, first of all. Oh, because no one wanted to see some or main character turns into me. Because yeah, but if it was an alternate version of myself, I like basically, aka was born with the powers of infinity or zero, and no, turning or having the powers of pizza or anything. That's too creepy. So, and I appreciate your suggestion, but yeah, it will be like till I rethink go hit over again. So peace out, y'all. Peace.